John Adams is remembered as a founding father and the second president of the United States. But during his lifetime, he was one of the most disliked leaders in America. He helped create the nation, yet many Americans wanted him removed from power. He defended British soldiers accused of killing colonists, not because he supported Britain, but because he believed justice mattered more than anger. He prevented a war that could have destroyed the young United States, but lost his presidency because of it. And he signed laws that silenced journalists, not out of hatred for freedom, but out of fear that the nation itself might collapse. John Adams was not a leader people loved. He was a leader who chose responsibility over popularity. This is the story of John Adams, a man who protected the American Republic even when America turned against him. John Adams was born on October 30th, 1735, in the small farming town of Braintree, Massachusetts, a community shaped by hard work, strict discipline, and deep religious belief. He was the eldest son of John Adams Sr. and Susanna Boylston Adams. His father was not wealthy, but he was respected. A farmer, shoemaker, and local official, John Adams Sr. believed deeply in education, moral duty, and service to the community. From an early age, young John Adams was expected to work hard, think critically, and obey authority. His household valued discipline over comfort and responsibility over privilege. Adams had two younger brothers, Peter and Elihu, and as the eldest, he felt a constant pressure to lead, to succeed, and to justify the sacrifices his parents made. His mother, Susanna, came from a well-connected medical family, and she encouraged intellectual curiosity and strong moral character. From her, Adams inherited a sharp mind and emotional intensity. As a child, Adams was restless and stubborn. He disliked manual labor and often questioned authority, but he also showed exceptional intelligence and an early fascination with ideas, debate, and justice. His father recognized this potential and pushed him toward formal education, a rare opportunity for a farm boy in colonial America. Adams attended local grammar schools before enrolling at Harvard College at just 16 years old. At Harvard, he studied classical philosophy, history, logic, and law. Although his family hoped he would become a minister, Adams struggled with religious certainty. He questioned doctrine, challenged ideas, and wrestled with moral responsibility. This internal conflict shaped him deeply. Instead of the clergy, Adams chose the law, believing that understanding justice was the most practical way to serve society. As a young lawyer, he was not immediately successful. He struggled financially, worried about his status, and often doubted his own abilities. But he was meticulous, principled, and relentless these early struggles. Poverty, self-doubt, and a strict moral upbringing forged a man who would value duty over popularity, principle over comfort, and conscience over applause. These traits would define John Adams for the rest of his life. John Adams did not rise easily in politics. He was not charming. He was not universally liked. And he was painfully aware of it. As tensions with Britain intensified, Adams emerged as one of the strongest voices for independence. He served in the Continental Congress, where his blunt honesty often made enemies. Unlike other leaders, Adams spoke without softness. He criticized hesitation. He demanded action. Many found him difficult. Some found him unbearable. But when independence was declared, it was John Adams who worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make survival possible. He helped organize the Continental Army. He pushed for supplies, discipline, and leadership. And when America needed allies, Adams was sent abroad. His diplomatic mission to Europe was exhausting. He faced rejection, arrogance, and isolation, yet Adams refused to quit. Through relentless negotiation, he helped secure vital foreign support, especially from France. Without these alliances, American independence may have failed. Adams returned home respected, but still not loved. He had helped build a nation, but never learned how to win hearts. In 1796, John Adams was elected the second president of the United States. It was not a landslide. It was not a celebration. The nation was already divided. Adams took office in 1797, inheriting a fragile republic, still learning how to govern itself. He followed George Washington, a nearly untouchable figure. Comparison was unavoidable. Almost immediately, Adams faced crisis. France, once America's ally, began seizing American ships. Public anger exploded. Calls for war filled newspapers and Congress. War promised unity. War promised popularity. War promised re-election. But Adams saw a deeper danger. The economy was weak. The nation was divided. Another war could destroy the republic from within. So Adams chose diplomacy over destruction. He sent negotiators to France. He endured public ridicule. He ignored political advisors begging him to strike. Eventually, peace was achieved. The war never came. The nation survived. But Adams paid a heavy price. His restraint was seen as weakness. His popularity collapsed. His presidency was doomed. John Adams' presidency is also remembered for fear. In 1798, he signed the Alien and Sedition Acts. These laws allowed the government to silence critics and imprison journalists. Adams believed the nation was under attack from foreign influence, political division, and internal instability. Fear drove his decision. The consequences were severe. Public trust collapsed. Opposition intensified. Freedom of speech was threatened. Even Adams later admitted that these laws were a mistake. They revealed a painful truth. Even principled leaders can abandon liberty when fear takes control. In 1770, Boston was on the edge of chaos. 5 colonists were dead. British soldiers stood accused. Crowds demanded punishment, not justice. No lawyer wanted the case. Defending the soldiers meant risking reputation, career, and personal safety. John Adams stepped forward. He did not defend them because he supported Britain. He defended them because he feared something worse. Adams believed that if anger replaced law, the colonies would become the very tyranny they opposed. The soldiers were acquitted. The consequences were immediate. Adams was vilified. Clients avoided him. His family faced danger, but years later, Adams wrote that this decision was one of the proudest acts of his life because in that moment, America proved it could be ruled by law, not rage. John Adams lost his presidency because he refused to start a war. At the height of the crisis with France, war would have guaranteed his re-election. But Adams believed leadership was not about personal power. It was about national survival. He chose peace. The consequence was brutal. He lost public support. He lost political allies. He lost the election. History later proved him right. By avoiding war, Adams preserved America's future at the cost of his own career. One of the greatest ironies of John Adams' life is that he violated the freedoms he helped create. Fear led him to suppress dissent. Security replaced liberty. The backlash was immediate. His reputation suffered lasting damage. This moment serves as a warning that freedom must be protected, especially in times of fear. After losing re-election, John Adams retreated from public life. He lived long enough to see the nation survive, expand, and struggle. In one of history's great coincidences, John Adams died on July 4, 1826, exactly 50 years after independence was declared. His final words were, "Thomas Jefferson survives." Jefferson had died hours earlier. John Adams' legacy is complex. He was stubborn, unpopular, often misunderstood. But without John Adams, the American Republic may not have survived its earliest years. John Adams reminds us that leadership is not about applause. It is about choosing the difficult path, even when it costs everything. He was not the president Americans loved. He was the president America needed. And his story asks us one final question. Would we choose what is right if it meant standing alone?